Hello students, this is the first video that I want to share with you just to kind of introduce you to some of the changes that are in front of us as we transition to online distance learning. This is just a general video for all the classes that I teach. So I teach sophomore, honors, academic, and junior English. So this is, again, just kind of like general points that kind of apply to all my classes. Specifics, as far as like what's due this week, I'll kind of get into that later. First off, I just want to, and I have my notes here that I'm kind of, that are helping me. What I'm hoping is that this whole experience will be meaningful, that I can really pass on to some important things that you can take with you into your next year, and we can finish the year well. That this just wouldn't be busy work. I'm also hoping that this will be a low stress experience. I don't want to complicate things. I know we're kind of living through stressful times. So I don't want to add to your anxiety by making this complicated. I do want to emphasize that one of the things the English teachers did today is we got together and talked about level uniformity. What I mean by that is like all the sophomore academic teachers are kind of doing the same thing online, juniors. So we always try to avoid situations where one teacher is doing something completely different. So there is some level uniformity. I want to do my best to make this first week pretty simple and basic, and then maybe build on that in the weeks to come. So we're kind of starting this journey on a Wednesday. So I also want to just ask everyone to be flexible as we make this big adjustment. There's a learning curve for me. There's just going to be some changes to kind of our day-to-day way of doing things. Of course, I want you to think about self-care, taking care of yourself, and just following the direction of your parents. I can answer questions related to English, but if you have bigger concerns, you should probably go to the administration. But I can answer questions relating to the classes that I teach. Okay, the teachers received an email from Mr. Sullock explaining like expectations. So across the board, he's telling us that students should expect or anticipate 4 to 5 hours of work per class. So that's going to be a standard that I'm going to try to follow. Okay, moving on to number 2 here. Really, I just want to use 4 major tools for this online experience, most of which we have been learning all along. Learning Portal, probably the biggest one. I call this our home base. So you're going to always want to check there first. We are going to use OneNote, but we're also going to use Teams, Microsoft Teams, which I haven't really used that much, but I know students use this in other classes. But we're going to definitely get into using Teams, Microsoft Teams, as well as Skype. So I haven't used Skype, but I know most students use that to communicate with each other, but it's going to be a helpful tool to communicate with me. Maybe some minor tools that we'll use down the road will include things like Socrative for quizzes, podcasts, maybe Flipgrid, databases, and we're going to continue using Membean. But again, the 4 big ones, the Learning Portal, OneNote, Teams, and Skype, and Outlook, I guess. Okay, so I want to really focus in this video just about communication, which I think is so vital to this working out smoothly. So if you go to OneNote, in all of my classes, I've created a new tab titled Online. And right now, you'll see these pages underneath this heading communication. So I just want to focus on these 4 pages, which essentially are just the different ways that I want to communicate with you. The first is meeting with you in real time. So I want you to read this word for word. Essentially, I want to give you the opportunity to meet with me for a scheduled live Microsoft team meeting. So it's like a conference, kind of like what you see here in the picture. You're there. And the whole point is to just touch base and to ask me questions in real time. But there's a schedule we're going to kind of strictly follow. So, like, for example, if you're in period 3, my period 3 junior American literature class, your time would be that Monday meeting that starts at 11:35. And so I'm giving it kind of like a 20-minute window. Please show up, especially these first couple of weeks. It's not required, but I think it's just really smart. Again, it's mainly for you to ask questions, and I don't want to be buried by emails. So where's the link? So here are the instructions, but the link for now is posted in the learning portal. So I'm going to pull up. This is my English 2 honors class. You'll see it at the top, join Microsoft Teams meeting. All my classes, I kind of put it in the same spot. That's where it'll sit. So you click on that. It should be pretty simple. And I think you'll have the option of showing your picture, but you'll see me. Anyways, that's once a week, the Microsoft Teams live meeting. Okay, secondly, Skype. I'm encouraging you to communicate with me through Skype. I'm going to be right here. I'm sitting in front of my monitor Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. So please send me something. I'll answer any question. Try to keep it simple. All right. Third option is the Microsoft Teams question and answer class forum. So let me see if I can find that. Just give me a second here. Oh, actually, I can't bring it up right now. All right, I'm sorry for the confusion, but if you go to Microsoft Teams for your given class, you'll see a forum there that I've created. It says Teams question and answer class. So what I like about this is you can post a question and I'll respond to it, but other people in your class can respond to it, or you can look at questions from other people. So it can be kind of a place of a community to collaborate with each other. So that's a third way that we can communicate. It's on the forum, and I'll try to be efficient and timely in getting back to you with the question you have. Okay, the fourth, my least favorite is email, only because I don't want to be buried by emails. So, you know, I'm not telling you no, but just be aware that there's these other ways to communicate with me. It's just those other ways are easier as opposed to kind of typing out my thoughts to you. So here I write a word about complex requests, make up work such as presentation Scanton grades. If you send me like a lengthy, complex request, I'm going to ask you to talk to me about it during a live meeting, or ask that we resolve it when we go back to the standard traditional classroom. So late work, I know some of you are wanting to make up like an in-class presentation. We can't do that in this sort of setting, so you'll just have to, we'll hold off on that till we return. Same goes with an in-class essay. So you just have to be patient and wait till return. We return whenever that happens. And Scanton tests, I have some of those I haven't gotten to yet, and now I can't go onto campus to use the Scantron machine because we're not allowed to. So we're gonna have to just be patient on that. So that's kind of in a holding pattern as well. And of course, communicate with each other. Email each other, talk to one another, help each other out. All right. So, how does attendance work? This is number 4. Well, I'm not doing Aries. Essentially, the assignment deadlines that I give, and there are deadlines for every week. Typically, like sometimes it'll be Sunday night, sometimes it'll be midweek, but I'll specify the deadlines in the weekly agenda that I send out. I'll get to that in a bit. But that's your attendance. If you're not turning in work, your grade suffers. But am I taking traditional attendance? No, I'm not on Aries. So just be aware that there are multiple deadlines during the week, and if you miss them, you miss them. Okay. I do want to encourage you to follow the reading schedule. So we're going to try to stick to that. Whether it be The Kite Runner, Hard Times, or The Great Gatsby, these are all works. Well, Hard Times were kind of in the middle, but these other 2 works were just starting. But you're gonna have lots of time. These are great. These rainy days that we're having. Get your nose in the novel that we're starting, and keep up with the reading schedule. Okay. This is key. The general structure of weekly assignments. You're gonna find this on the learning portal Monday morning. So kind of that's when the work week starts for us. Look on Monday morning. You'll see the weekly agenda posted. So we have a weekly instruction cycle. It starts Monday and goes to Sunday night. It's kind of giving you 7 days. And then following Monday, we'll start with something new. So the learning portal is home base in terms of like instructions and what to do. And this is what you'll see basically. Like, I want to keep it simple. So you'll see something that says weekly agenda at a glance. And number 1 is me to you. So that includes things like announcements, instruction. So I might plug in like a YouTube video of me sharing some instruction, and assignments. So assignments meaning specific deadlines and that sort of thing, class-specific instructions. So you'll want to read. You're not going to want to hold off like and check in on Wednesday. You want to read this Monday to know exactly what's happening, and then let me know if you have any questions. So don't put that off. Check in Monday. Number 2, you to me. So these are, it's not a one-way street here. You have to turn material into me. So this might be a paper, it might be a writing form. It varies, but I will specify those deadlines, those due dates. And then lastly, number 3, I'll kind of always keep this up as a reminder, ways to communicate with me. So that could be to schedule a live Teams meeting, Skype at night, question forum on Teams, communicating with each other, emailing me, and just kind of a reminder about ixnay on the complex requests via email. Okay, I think these are kind of the important things I wanted to share with you. God bless. I hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourselves. All right, here we go.